Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Thanks for joining us this morning. We'll let everyone get signed in. You all are amazing for joining us on an early Wednesday morning during your very busy October. Thank you so much for taking the time. We really appreciate it. Excellent. Good. Well, it is 7:31 and we do want to be mindful of your time. This session will be recorded, so we will be able to share this out. I'm going to go ahead and get started and do introductions. Welcome to Accessing Gonzaga University Updates and Resources for our Washington counselors. Grateful that you're here. My name is Claire Silva. I'm an Associate Director of Admission and happy to be here with you this morning. And I'll let my colleague Carrie introduce herself. Many of you know us.
Hi, I'm Carrie Weeks. I'm Associate Director of Admission as well, and I work with a lot of our schools in Eastern Washington, and I'm going to serve as the moderator. So feel free to put questions into either the chat or the Q&A, and I'll respond to those, as well as put some links into the chat for you as Claire shares our updates.
And thanks, Carrie. Just to be mindful of your time, I don't expect us to be longer than a half an hour and want to get through some really quick information about how we are supporting Gonzaga students and making Gonzaga accessible to our students in Gonzaga in Washington State. The resources that we're providing, the financial aid and scholarship opportunities that we're providing, and helping you as counselors give students those resources should Gonzaga be a good fit for them. So I wanted to start with just some basic statistics about our Washington students specifically. We have 38% of our applicants are from Washington State. You can see the totals here with 3,291 students applying to Gonzaga from Washington. We had a very healthy acceptance rate, 80.4% of our acceptance rate for students from Washington State. We say yes more than we say no. We have heard times that students have said, you know, Gonzaga, it's too hard to get into. And we want to make sure that our students know that yes, we are looking for students who are academically prepared, but we have a wide range of students. And when we're looking at students, we are looking at a holistic review and making sure students know we have resources to support students. And we are accepting students knowing that we have those resources to support our students. 50% of our first year class of 2028 are from Washington State. This is a little higher than we have had in more recent years. We've typically been in recent years around 44 to 45% from Washington State. So we're really happy to see such a strong class from Washington State. 99% of our students receive financial aid. And 37.9% of our students identify as BIPOC students from Washington. Okay, which is higher than our overall average of students who are identifying as students of color, BIPOC identifying students, which are our average overall of our incoming class was around 33%. Okay. Many of you are familiar with Gonzaga and our programs. We do have some new programs, and if you did attend a Washington Counselor Workshop, you may have seen this, so I won't spend too much time on this, but if you are less familiar with Gonzaga, we have over 80 programs of study. Our newest school at Gonzaga is our Institute for Informatics and Applied Technology. We are very excited about that. It only has one major in data science right now, but next year we'll house our cybersecurity major in fall of 2025. Knowing that students don't necessarily like it aren't always paying attention to what school our programs are in, and more so the column on the right hand side has the information students are most interested in is, do we have their major. Robotics is a new minor in concentration within the School of Engineering and Applied Science, as well as construction. And we offer a 4+1 program for all majors for students who are interested in our communication and leadership studies master's program, as well as our organizational leadership master's program. So that 4+1 program for students who are really engaged in leadership and are looking for that master's degree and going straight into that can start their master's classes as undergrad. So if you have those really ambitious students, that could be a really nice option to let them know about. The second section here are majors that are fairly new to Gonzaga, and you may be familiar, are very popular, have been neuroscience as well as public health and biomedical engineering. Actually, all of these have been very popular. As data science, women's and gender and sexuality studies was added to that, or the BA and the minor there. So you can access more information and Carrie, I believe, is putting information in the chat, our majors and listings. Thank you, Carrie. Okay, these I believe you're fairly familiar with, but we really, really want our counselors to recognize our new first year admission deadlines. We have gone back to November 15th, early action, non-binding, with our regular decision deadline of February 1st, which has not changed. We did move from our December 1st deadline and wanted to, we were just seeing a shift in our applicants, and at the time when we shifted to our December 1 deadline, it was really what we needed for Gonzaga as an institution, but also to support the students who were applying to Gonzaga. And we are hopeful that this doesn't throw a wrench too much in your processes. We hope that you are you know, you're dealing with a lot of November 1st deadlines, November 15th deadlines, and hopeful that this fits into your already busy schedule as you're helping students navigate this process. The one that we really, really need our students to be aware of, or our applicants, is that nursing applicants must apply by November 15th to be considered for our nursing program. Otherwise, if they apply after that, they will be considered for our nursing wait list. So that deadline is coming up very quickly. Students can transfer out of nursing. We encourage students to indicate nursing as their intended major if they are even considering it, and make sure they put a secondary academic interest on their application. We will reach out to, we will do an initial review of nursing applicants, and if their application is not quite strong enough for our nursing program, we will email them and say, your application is strong, though not quite strong enough for our nursing program. Would you like to be considered for admission to Gonzaga University under your secondary academic interest of said major? So please, please encourage your students to do that, to add that secondary interest, academic interest, if they are really interested in Gonzaga. That really helps with our process. It also helps to have them, if Gonzaga is their top choice, to check their email as you know, on a regular basis, so they don't miss those important communications that will come through that have deadlines. You know, make sure you let us know you want to be considered under a different major by this date. Carrie has put the admission requirements link in the chat that can be super helpful in guiding students through that. Gonzaga remains test optional indefinitely. And then we, of course, have our transfer deadlines listed, should you be working with any transfer students. Lindsay Spencer is our transfer advisor, admission counselor, and she is phenomenal. So please, should you have students who are, you know, planning to transfer, that's part of their, you know, intended academic pathway, we definitely can work with them ahead of time in getting them set up for success in a good transfer plan. Okay, and we'll just highlight, we are a Common App school for first year applicants, and we use our own application for transfer students. Okay. We've gotten a lot of questions about, why can't we see the supplemental questions easily? We have added our supplemental questions to our website for students. And I guess I shouldn't say a lot of questions, but we do get questions around what these are and wanting students to not have to navigate into the Common App to see these. So we've made these more readily accessible on our first year application student page, on the how to apply page. So students can access these. One of the things that we really wanted to focus on with these supplemental questions is helping students understand who we are as an institution, and helping them see, could I see myself, in answering one of these questions, is this, a place that I could see myself fitting? And so we want, that was the intention behind these questions, and students get to select one of the two with 5 to 10 sentences. We really try to make this not be a huge additional stress for students, because we know that they're already stressed about the essay. So we do require the essay on the common application, and then one of these short answer questions. Um, the nursing applicants are asked to also submit a response to the following questions here about why they are looking at the field of nursing, and why they believe they'd be a good nurse. So additional for those nursing applicants. But yes, Carrie put in the chat our first year students page, which if you check out the third drop down there, it lists our essay and our supplemental questions for students to access easily. And I find that'll be helpful too, as you have some really eager juniors who want to kind of start thinking about the process. They can get a glimpse at what some of those supplemental questions might be as they prepare. We have so many students who are accessing Running Start, dual enrollment, college and high school coursework, especially in Washington State. And many of you are aware and know, but Gonzaga does offer direct transfer agreements with all Washington State community colleges. So those students who are coming in with an AA or an AS from Running Start will come to Gonzaga in junior standing. And that really is beneficial for students in can help students add a double major, add a minor, and they will still apply as first year students. I will say that students who are looking at science majors, engineering majors, oftentimes can be 3 years, even coming in with an AA or an AS degree, just helping set some expectations for students that can be helpful. I will note that students who are nursing applicants who come in with their pre-nursing associates will be still on a 4-year path or 4.5-year path for our nursing program, as it is cohort based, and those clinicals are typically in the junior and senior year. Dual enrollment in college and high school, we have a great transfer database on our website that students can check out to see exactly how their credits will transfer from the community college that they're receiving credit, and or 4-year university. Some students are receiving credits from Central and University of Washington. So that dual enrollment college and the high school or that transfer database can be especially helpful for those students who are, really wanting to plan ahead on what they take, and how it will look at Gonzaga. Okay, some specific Washington opportunities for access. This program we had for a while now, our Gonzaga Access Pledge, which was just renamed in the last 2 years now. But this pledge provides grant and scholarship money for our Washington students who qualify for the federal Pell Grant. It covers the full cost of tuition. All students have to do is apply to Gonzaga and be admitted. They will automatically be notified if they've received this. They also, of course, must be from Washington and filed the FAFSA or WASFA. So students who are qualify for the federal Pell Grant with an SAI lower than $25,000. So undocumented students living in Washington State are eligible for our Gonzaga Access Pledge. Last year, we were awarded 133 Gap offers, and the majority of those are all Washington residents. We do offer to some students in our neighbor states, though the majority are all Washington students. So that has been incredible for access for our Washington students. I'll even just mention, especially our students from Eastern Washington in the Spokane region, providing that opportunity for maybe some students who can have that opportunity to live at home and they're getting everything else covered for the most part. So please encourage students to learn more about this if they're interested in Gonzaga. Our Unity Scholars Program, for those of you that have known us for a while, has replaced our Act 6 scholarship, and we were able to launch the program last year for the very first time. Very exciting. I will give you some highlights of our incoming Unity Scholars group, but want to first give you the information about who is eligible and how students apply. So the difference between Gonzaga Access Pledge and Unity Scholars is that students must submit the Unity Scholars application by January 5th. Otherwise, for the most part, it's fairly similar in like it is fairly similar, but the Unity Scholars Program is more. It is tuition, academic fees, housing, and meal plan fully covered, plus leadership development, mentorship, and career support for students. So it's very much so a program that walks students through the process and provides continued support. And I won't say that our Gonzaga Access Pledge students are not receiving those resources. It is just, it's much more like our students in the Unity Scholars Program are kind of walked through that as they come in. So to be eligible, students must be from Washington State residents. Also, undocumented students are eligible for Unity Scholars. We do require for nursing applicants, they must apply early action. Priority consideration will be given to those students who do apply early action. It is a competitive scholarship. We don't want to have to do that, but just because of the timing of the scholarship, and we are encouraging students to apply early action, and then they have time to submit the Unity Scholars application, which is already live, so students can check it out. It is a fairly short application. Students to submit their leadership and things that they're involved in their school, their community that pertain to leadership, as well as an essay. We are looking for demonstrated financial need with, for an example, students, a family of 4 with a median income of less than below the 70% of the Washington median. We are taking a holistic review of the application, which includes academic performance, resilience, social justice activism, cultural involvement, and leadership. Last year, I think there was we just want to set expectations that it is a competitive scholarship, and we're looking at all of these things, including academic performance. So that is part of it. I will say we got around a little over 120 applications last year, and this is our highlight of our incoming class of 2028 Unity Scholars. We have 19 Unity Scholars who are getting basically full costs covered, and that is compared to our 8 that were offered for Act 6. We have, with an average GPA of 3.82, 12 our first generation college students, 7 coming from the Spokane region, Spokane area, with 5 from Rogers students, 12 are from Central and Eastern Washington, and 7 from Western Washington, including our Southwest Washington area, Vancouver area. So really amazing, incredible group of scholars. Many served in leadership roles across their schools and communities, cultural clubs, and most of them had some sort of work or part-time job that they were participating in. So very exciting. Okay, financial aid, I just recognizing too that if Gonzaga Access Pledge Unity Scholars is not something that your student would qualify for, know that 99% of our admitted students are receiving financial aid and or scholarships or grants, excuse me. Our average financial aid offer is nearly $36,000 a year. We do encourage students to file the FAFSA as soon as it opens. We have some great webinars for our students and families throughout the fall and spring. I will say that our financial aid department and our director of student financial services, our dean of student financial services, she is incredible. She's done a lot of work with the Department of Education in expressing concerns and bringing up information that is helpful to them. I highly encourage, if you have students and families who are even just having questions about FAFSA and they're not considering Gonzaga, attend our webinars or watch our recordings, because she's very, very helpful in kind of demystifying the process. And Carrie's put in the admission webinar series link so you can access where our webinars and what we are offering for students and families this fall. And that will be updated in the spring for our admitted students webinars. Our webinars are highly attended still, even in this era that not as many webinars are offered. So though we are a small group this morning, we are a mighty bunch. Okay, our priority deadlines, of course, this will be dependent upon if the FAFSA does launch at the times they say they will launch. And then knowing that we have additional scholarships on our scholarships website that Carrie has already, well, we'll put in the chat if it's not already there. But scholarships, we have scholarships for music, students interested in music. The deadline for that, I believe, is February 10th. So if you have students who are interested in music, even if they're not majoring in music, they will need to send in their audition tapes by that time, by that early February deadline. Great Army ROTC programs and scholarships and can be included there. Honors, please have students who are highly motivated, strong academic students consider our honors program. That deadline was extended to January 5th as well. You will notice that all of our scholarship deadlines have been extended to January 5th. We recognize that you guys aren't working on January 1st. Sorry for so many years of a January 1st deadline. And we are somewhat flexible with that deadline, but know that we have extended that out to give students some time after the New Year's holiday. Okay, just some resources, knowing that we have a 94% retention rate. We are very intentional about helping our students be successful at Gonzaga should they choose Gonzaga. Our resources at Gonzaga are vast, and we want, if we are offering students admission to Gonzaga, we are saying, yes, we're committing to you to be successful should you choose us. We are committed to helping create a more inclusive and equitable space at Gonzaga always. One of our DEI, our diversity, inclusion, community, equity, and belonging resources at Gonzaga include our Unity Multicultural Education Center, Lincoln LGBTQ plus Resource Center. We have a student resources for undocumented students. They provide just resources, educational resources, services, trainings, activities throughout the entire year. They really support they really focus on education and celebration and supporting all students, whoever they are, however they identify. We have a phenomenal new student and family programs to help support not only students, but our families. So parents and guardians of our students have a place to access to know who to contact should they have questions. For students who maybe have learning differences, our Center for Student Academic Success is phenomenal, providing learning plans and resources for our students who may need additional support. And I encourage you, if you have students who maybe fall into that category, to, when they come for a campus visit, they can go to our disability access office and talk about what types of plans and resources are available to them. And then additionally, we rank very highly for resources for our transfers, and specifically for our veterans who are considering Gonzaga. So know that that is an excellent option for our students, who are veterans, or even our dependents of veterans. Um, Okay, who's your counselor? This is a lot of people. There's a lot of us that cover Washington. Um, you can see Carrie and I pop up on this list. I am regionally based in Western Washington, though I have been around for a long time and always happy to be a resource. But I have select schools in Western Washington. But please go to Gonzaga.edu. My counselor, Carrie, will put that in the chat, and you can navigate to Washington, and then it'll have a drop down. You can select your school to see who is your counselor. I will note that our colleague Becky Stockton is on maternity leave. Yay, she's amazing. So we have had help. We're all kind of helping cover this fall recruitment territory, or fall recruit. But she should be back in early November. And so, but you may have seen Teresa helping out. You may have seen Rosa helping out with some area things, myself, and then just other people who have been in the area. But no, Becky's still around. So just wanted to say thank you for taking the time this morning. We are a small group, so please type in the chat. I haven't looked at the Q&A or chat if there has been anything that has come in. But I am grateful for you taking a little bit of your Wednesday morning to learn a bit more, and we are always here to support, and grateful for your support and commitment to your students. And I have heard that October is not great in regards to your time, so thank you, thank you. I did want to, oh, we did have one come in. Oh, yay. Um, just wanted to, yeah, enjoy your day. That concludes our webinar, unless you would like to stick around and ask any more questions of Carrie or myself. Grateful for your time. Have a wonderful day.
And I echo Claire's thanks. Thanks so much for all you do. Great to have you all here. Take care.
Bye, friends.